are watching you. Even when they do not like, share, or comment on anything that you're currently doing, please hear me. Even when you feel unseen, overlooked, underbooked, and unappreciated, your obedience and consistency in your journey allows people to see that you're not building a legacy, you're making a huge impact. Have you ever been working really hard in your business, like you're laser focused on creating that impact on the lives you're called to serve and building this big old brand and really leaving a legacy for your family that you barely ever look up? But when you do, it is because someone has tapped you on your shoulder and they've said, listen, I've been watching you and I see your greatness. That is what's happened to me, and I want to tell you all about it. So let's get into it. Hello, everyone, and welcome back, profitable CEOs, to another episode of the Say Yes to Profits podcast. I am your host, your financial business bestie, your future virtual CFO and tax strategist, and the CEO of all things Say Yes to Profits, Dr. Yes, you heard me correctly. Dr. Octavia Connor. My name, you all, has officially changed. I'm so excited. I'm going to tell you more about that later. Here at Say Yes to Profits, we help high-earning minority women CEOs scale with financial clarity, control, consistent cash flow so that they confidently say yes to profits. Please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button right now and share this episode with your women CEO friends and family, okay? Thank you. Have you ever had something happen to you and it just blew your mind? I have been going on this beautiful journey these last couple of weeks, and I just want to tell you all about it in hopes that it encourages you, okay? So tune in really closely. So a few weeks ago, I received something I never imagined would happen to me again. I walked across a stage in a cap and gown, you all, at the breathtaking, beautiful Chateau Elan Winery and Results here in Atlanta. And I received an honorary doctorate degree. Now, let me take you back behind the scenes of this moment because it did not happen overnight. This was years in the making, years of showing up, years of building Say Yes to Profits with passion, integrity, and a whole lot of faith. Okay, so years ago, I began this journey of making sure I wanted to be obedient to the call that the Most High had placed on my life, even if it didn't make sense to me, right? Even when things made me cry, pray harder, or when I had to fight with faith and sheer determination, I wanted to make sure that I was obedient to who God had called me to serve, and I served them in the way that He called me to serve. And so that journey wasn't easy, but it has always been worth it. And when I bring you forward, I was recently nominated by someone I deeply admire, Dr. Jerry. She and others, unbeknownst to me, have been watching my entrepreneur journey for years. Like they were quietly but consistently watching without me even realizing it. And when the opportunity came for her to nominate a woman who embodied excellency in business and impact, she chose me. 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 That moment of saying you were selected taught me something powerful. And I want you to hear me clearly, profitable CEOs. It taught me that people are watching you. Even when they do not like, share, or comment on anything that you're currently doing. Please hear me. Even when you feel unseen, overlooked, underbooked, and unappreciated, your obedience and consistency in your journey allows people to see that you're not building a legacy, you're making a huge impact, and people are still watching you. And so I want you to make sure you show up powerfully, purposefully, and passionately every day, because again, people are watching you. That is why I always say build your brand, build your network, and most importantly, build genuine connections. This is why I started sharing a day in the life of becoming Mrs. Say Yes to Profits on Instagram, on TikTok, and the Say Yes to Profits community, because people want to see behind the scenes. And I honestly was doing that too, to capture the journey, because it's not just serving the clients as their virtual CFO and tax strategist. It's behind the scenes of this event, that event, and crying and praying and this and that. And that segment of the podcast is not just content. It is a window into the reality of building something bigger than myself. And so, if your journey can inspire someone, if it can remind them to keep going, then sharing it becomes a part of your purpose. Speaking of purpose, here's the backstory of being nominated and receiving an honorary doctorate degree. Okay. So before I accepted the nomination, I prayed about it. I did not accept it immediately because remember, I said I want to operate it in obedience, right? I waited until I received a clear answer from God. I prayed and asked him to give me a sign that this was for me and this was a part of the journey that he wanted me to be on. One thing, like I said earlier, that I do now is that every decision I make, I pray about it, even if that means others have to wait. I would rather them wait. I would rather I wait so that I can make sure that I'm doing the things that I am supposed to do. And so I received the nomination. I received the call. Matter of fact, no, back up. I received an email that stated that you had been selected for this honorary doctorate degree. And so I reached out to my PR team because I'm like, what is this? Is this real? Is this somebody spamming me? They're asking me to click on a link and all this stuff. And it was real. And so I've always wanted to receive another degree, but with being a mother of four and a grandmother and a wife and building this phenomenal brand, I'm like, when do I have time to do this? And I'm like praying. And also I was like, I don't want to get another student loan. I want to make sure I pay this out of pocket. So all of this has to factor in on top of having two kids in college. Okay. So you see what I'm going? And then it fell in my lap. Like it literally felt like it fell in my lap. Nothing but God. And so I wanted to make sure that I handled this opportunity and this blessing the right way. So again, I prayed about it, not knowing that all this time someone had been watching me build this company, seeing me at events, seeing me show up, and they thought that I was worthy to be nominated for this. Now, the process, oh, that was something else, okay? We had to go through an intense process. It wasn't just you're nominated, here you go. No, 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 no. You had to show your proof with testimonies and videos and so many other things to show that this is something that you would not only receive, but you would cherish it and you would take it and you would capitalize on that, right? That's part of their process at TIUA, which is Trinity International University of Ambassadors, with the person that founded it, Dr. Mohair, one of the greatest experiences of my life. And I love the way they set everything up to not only make you feel special, but let you know that this is serious. This is something you should take that is highly and uber important. Okay, so back to the story. As I mentioned before, I prayed and I asked if this is for me, and I received a clear sign that it was for me. And so then I moved forward. And when I tell you the love and support that I received, it honestly brought me to tears because, as I mentioned, we had to get testimonies from like the time we've been in business from different people. And my clients, oh, my clients, they showed up for me, starting with Dr. Karen, who has been a client since 2020, and then Felicia, who has been a client since 2021, and then Miss Golden, who has been a client since 2011. They all wrote written testimonies that shook me to my core. Now, these three clients in particular have been on this journey with me over the last several years and have witnessed firsthand the development, sometimes positively, sometimes challenging, of not just growing Say Yes to Profits, but also of me evolving as a CEO, as a leader, and as a woman of power. So for them to willingly write 2-page testimonies, each, you all, and not out of obligations, but from a place of genuine belief in me and my work, was profoundly humbling. Like their words reflected not only impact, but trust and transformation. And reading them reminded me of why I do what I do. Like there were several other clients and colleagues and staff members and friends who also took time to write heartfelt letters and reflected on the real impact of my work. And that was one of the most beautiful parts of it. Okay, and so let me say this to you: when you're building your business with integrity, when you're making sure you put your clients success first, when they're at the center of the strategy and focus, they do not forget. And not only do they refer people, but they'll do things like that. Like, that is such a beautiful moment. And I am so beyond grateful for them. Okay. Okay. So now I want to tell you about the day of the ceremony, which honestly felt magical. So I arrived on Friday evening with my daughter to Chateau Elan, and the place was absolutely beautiful. Like you drove up to this just castle, this gorgeous facility, right? But I felt a little nervous. I was excited at the same time, but I also felt grateful, right? And so walking across the stage again, something I honestly thought would never ever happen, it was surreal. I could hear the applause. I could see the proud faces in the room. And in that moment, I knew, I just knew everything I had been through on this entrepreneur journey, the wins, the setbacks, the pivotal moments, the losses, was leading me to this point. This moment was not just about receiving an honorary degree for me, an honorary doctorate degree, that is. It was confirmation that the seeds I have sown over the years are bearing fruit, and the harvest is unfolding. And while walking across that stage was unforgettable, what came after it, mm, this journey is still unfolding as of the day that I am recording this episode, you all. Like, so many doors have opened. I have met so many phenomenal people. And here's the thing: new opportunities have been presenting themselves immediately, and beautiful connections have been made. But one thing I make sure I do, no matter where I go, what I do, and what I receive, I figure out a way to capitalize on that. I've met some of the most inspiring people in my graduating class, from leaders to trailblazers to difference makers, that we're now in communication on how we can do certain things together. And like, I feel each conversation has felt divine, each connection has felt intentional. It was all God's plan. And it was all Him saying, this is the room I've prepared for you. You see, we didn't just celebrate each other's achievements. Oh no. When I say capitalize off of it, we exchange visions, we exchange contacts. We, of course, have a Facebook group. We've shared testimonies. We've built bonds that I know will extend far beyond that one moment. And what touched me the most is that we all had one thing in common. None of us waited to be validated before we answered the call. Hear me clearly. We each built something from the ground up in faith, and then someone nominated us. And now we're on the stage together. We're a part of each other's journey. And that speaks to the power of obedience, consistency, and showing up. Hear me clearly. Showing up even when no one is clapping for you. Which this brings me to this week's Profit Check Yourself moment, because your journey deserves for you to reflect and for you to recognize that even when no one is watching, how are you going to show up? Okay, so for the Profit Check Yourself moment, this is a part of the episode where you pause, reflect, and keep it 100% real with yourself. Now, I have a few questions I want to ask you, okay? Question number 1 is, are you hiding parts of your journey that could be the very thing that connects you to your next opportunity or to your next level of success? Listen, your story matters and your presence matters because there are rooms that you're being called to. Okay? Building your brand in faith and purpose and serving others will open up doors even when you are not knocking. And so your call to action is to start showing up even before you feel ready. Even before the spotlight finds you. Your consistency in planting seeds will blossom and bloom you in rooms that have your name on them. Oh, build your business with integrity, stay obedient to your calling, and serve those that you're called to serve like you would want to be served, because you never know when you need them and when someone is watching you, just waiting to bless you. Oh, this whole doctorate degree, y'all, it's blew my mind. It has blown my mind because I've never pictured this. And so holding a degree that represents so much more than education, it represents impact. It represents purpose. It represents power. It represents obedience. And I look forward to where this journey is going to take me. So I just wanted to share my story, my background on how I am now Dr. Octavia Connor. Thank you for tuning into another episode. This is, again, Dr. Octavia Connor. Until next time, say yes to profits, everyone. Toodles. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Say Yes to Profits podcast. Now it is time for you to make money moves. Take action based on what you learn. Now, see you on the next episode. Say yes to profits. Toodles.